Hi guys, good evening. Ako po si Alan ng Stream Siomai and you're watching KaTalk. Welcome to our Pride Month episode special. Wow, for this year's Pride Month, Stream Siomai is continuing to share the support and love towards a more diverse, equal, and accepting society. We continue to raise the rainbow flag and give awareness that members of the LGBTQIA plus community, myself included, are still struggling in our current society. Which is why for this month, similar to what I did last year, I will be sharing a couple of infographics related to our queer dog to show awareness and openness that such characters and works of art are available for everyone to see, feel, and reflect on. There will also be a recognition to some notable figures as a form of thanks for raising the rainbow flag. Some of these posts have already been uploaded, so tingnan nyo na lang sa Facebook and Instagram lang yan, while others will come out in the coming weeks. So mga nyo yan mga kasyamay. Dito naman sa KaTalk, we will be featuring two queer artists who are happily continuously sharing the love and support towards our community through their works of art. We previously had our Chikahan with Chambolero. Nasabi ko it's a blast. So the episode is on YouTube and Facebook if hindi nyo napakinggan or napanood. So na-enjoy ko siya talking to Chambolero for the first time, getting to know him, getting to know the process behind ang Jowa Kong Crosswise. So, it was a great episode. So, it's just there in case you want to watch it. Hindi nyo pa napapanood, it's just there. But this time, we will be putting the spotlight to our next guest. He is a self-taught artist hailing from the city of Tacloban. Isa rin siyang digital artist and illustrator. With his talent and skills, he was able to produce this webcomic wherein it features a colorful family consisting of a hot security guard, really cutie driver na for sure sweet lover, and this really charming at makulit na daughter who is not sleeping with your husband. Kilalanin natin ang mukha sa likod ng kumumpas ng Dandampas or Dante, Damian, and Pascal the Pusang Kalye. Let us all welcome our KaTalk for tonight, the one and only Levi Sabarre.
Hello! Hi!
Thank you so much for guesting. Just to have an idea sa mga kasyomay, parang last year I asked Levi if pwede siyang guest for Pride Month.
Yeah.
So last year, pero medyo naging busy lang din ako, kami nung mga sumunod na araw at linggo, kaya hindi na siya nag-come to fruition. So ngayon, nangyari na siya.
Lumagpas yung Pride Month,
Yeah, totoo. So ayun, so finally we have you here sa ating Pride Month episode special for 2022. Maraming salamat. Yeah, let's start with the usual question na tinatanong natin kapag getting to know the person for the first time. So, kumusta ka? Kumusta ang buhay-buhay?
Well, life is good naman, despite the pandemic, no? But, it's all good naman. And, from the, medyo naka-recover na din from the sadness that I felt in May. Yeah, for the elections, diba?
Yeah. You mentioned na ikaw ay tiga Tacloban. So, just curious, saan exactly? I mean, of course, without saying the village or ano, pero saan ka exactly sa Tacloban? Or isa ka rin, or malapit pa kayo sa kung saan nasalanta nung Typhoon Yolanda?
Yes, actually, sa Tacloban mismo, we're parang 30 minutes away from the city center. So, fortunately, yung barangay namin hindi masyadong affected by the Typhoon Yolanda. Though, parang ano nga yun that was a weird incident yung Yolanda kasi usually pag bumabagyo, super bumabaha talaga yung area namin. Kahit parang light rain lang na naglalast for 5 days, super baha. And surprisingly, nung Typhoon Yolanda, we were safe sa lugar namin.
Kasi 'di ba, ilang taon na rin yung lumipas na nangyari nga yung pagdating ng bagyong Yolanda. Kumusta yung naging development since nung nasalanta ng bagyo? Like, was it okay naman or yan?
So that the typhoon happened in 2013 and super sira talaga, as in parang scene sa zombie apocalypse movie. Ganong levels talaga yung makikita mo sa city. And so far, naka-bounce back naman na kami, and the development actually was very fast nung siguro the second or third year. Maraming businesses na yun nagpo-pop up kasi marami din namang mga agencies, non-government organizations yung tumutulong sa amin. So, yun, parang medyo blessing in disguise, I guess. I mean, not to minimize the lives that were lost, you know.
I mean, that's good to know kasi parang, syempre, naging laman nga ng headlines ang Typhoon Yolanda, ang Tacloban City, even umabot yan internationally. So, ano talaga, parang, I mean, ako kasi, it's been tagal na rin ang punta ko sa Tacloban, so I'm sure marami na rin sigurong nagbago by then. So, it's good to know na kahit pa paano, nagkaroon naman ng naka-bounce back naman ang city. So, thank you for sharing that. So, you mentioned sa iyong Instagram profile na ikaw ay isang self-taught artist. So, we can assume there that you don't have a fine arts or anything, a degree na related to the creative industry. So, if you can tell us, ano yung background mo or ano yung degree na take mo during your college years?
I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. So, malayo sa interests ko, no. Actually, I wanted to take up fine arts or architecture. Architecture actually yung parang first choice ko, no. And fine arts was yung parang nasa puso ko. However, parang I was discouraged kasi nga back then yung view sa artist is mahirap kumita ng pera, hindi stable yung work, you know. So that's why I chose psychology kasi I think yung pag pinili ko yung architecture naman ay back then we couldn't afford it kasi masyadong mahal ang architecture for us. So psychology it is. And I learned to love psychology din naman. It's an interesting course.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to get to know people na like sa dati kong work, I get to meet people na hindi in line sa kung anong tinake nilang degree, yung passion na pinupursue nila. And for instance, banggitin ko lang siya. Dati ko siyang katrabaho as executive producer, and then nalaman ko nursing graduate siya. So, it's nice to know na parang there is still a way na kung talagang gusto mo talaga yung isang bagay, there will always be a chance na pwede mo pa rin siyang i-take, pwede mo pa rin siyang pag-aralan kahit hindi na in an academic setup. So, nakaka-inspire to get to know people na yun nga, nagsa-start silang maalamin yung parang bagay-bagay para makuha nila kung ano yung gusto nilang.
And honestly, I'm parang longing na din ako for something, for a career in art, you know. Parang namulat na din ako sa mga opportunities kung inline lang sana sa hobbies ko, interest ko yung kinuha ko. But no, it's not too late to learn, as you said.
Totoo naman. So, let's go with the learning journey of you being a self-taught artist. So, paano siya nagsimula? Like, since you took a bachelor's degree in psychology, so parang paano siya nasingit? Paano siya umusbong?
Well, I think kahit nung bata pa ako, I already had an affinity towards art, and I guess genetics has something to do with it maybe, kasi yung yung family ko sa mother's side, they're all artists. Yung mga uncle ko, they're all artists. They're painters, dancers, singers, ganun. So, I guess yun, parang siguro may innate na interest sa akin for the arts. And thankfully, I had parents who were supportive of my art, and yun, hinahayaan nila ako mag-draw, binibilan nila ako ng mga coloring materials, drawing books and whatnot. So yun, I guess that's where it started. And then siguro I just never stopped drawing. Kahit during class, nagdo-draw.
Yun na nga eh, di ba yung habang nakikinig sa klase,
Yeah.
scribble sa notebook,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ganyan. Isa ko sa mga bata din na nagdo-drawing habang nakikinig sa klase.
Yeah.
No? That's yan. You mentioned earlier na sa mother side mo, may mga family members ka na inclined to the arts. So, maliban sa kanila, are there particular or certain people that you look up to habang nasa journey ka sa ilan na habang inaalam, habang dinidiscover mo yung skills mo as an artist? So, parang pwede mo maturing na, was there a mentor or just people you follow na that inspired you to keep going?
As a child, siguro parang no one in specific, aside from my uncle na who is a great painter. My inspiration mostly nung bata pa ako are the cartoons that I watch, mga Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, ganun. But recently, with the boom of parang new age na animation, I discovered artists who I really look up to, and in fact, na-influence nila heavily yung art style ko today, yung art style ng Dandampas. Those are Rebecca Sugar of Steven Universe.
Yes.
Natasha Allegri of Bee and Puppycat, if you're familiar, Bee and Puppycat. Marami pa, from Adventure Time, Pendleton Ward, and many more. Yung may mga bagong animation din ngayon sa Disney Channel that I really love the art style, and I really look up to the artists behind them. And also, yung mga artists na fina-follow ko sa Twitter.
Anong take mo sa mga kasi 'di ba may mga cartoons, may mga series. I mean, ano siya, parang nostalgic siya sa atin. Let's say, Puff Girls, Ben 10, mga ganyan. And syempre si Cartoon Network, ni-reboot yung mga series na yan. What's your take on the reboot? Like, parang may napanood ka bang mga reboot na mga series? And
Napanood ko yung reboot ng Powerpuff Girls, and honestly, I don't get the hate. Hindi ko gets yung hate against doon. It's a nice touch, parang it's a nice twist to the story, parang minomodernize yung background nila, yun. It's really for me, it's all good. Parang if you're craving for the nostalgia, you can still look back and watch the older versions. You can, kung hindi mo gusto yung new versions, then don't watch it. So
exactly. Oo, I mean, oh my gosh, pareho tayo ng sentiments towards the reboot. I mean, hindi naman sa nagano ng bashers or anything, pero nung pinanood ko din specifically yun, si Ben 10 tsaka si Powerpuff Girls, parang modern take siya actually in terms of storytelling and pati sa animation. So ano siya, angkop siya sa kung anong year siya pinalabas. So ang ganda, maganda naman siyang panoorin. Makaka-relate naman yung current generation.
I think parang masyado silang nag-focus sa animation style and art style, but the stories are really more fleshed out. Basta mas overall maganda siya.
Though iba siguro magiging take pag sa Teen Titans. So di ko na rin masyado pinanood yun. Pero yun.
Yeah. The Teen Titans. Different, malaking gap kasi yung inano nila nung sa reboot nila. But it's not for everyone. You can't please everyone naman. So
based naman din sa personal, sa Instagram account mo, where parang art account mo na rin siya, diba? So nakikita ko din na pinapost mo rin siya sa Twitter, ganyan. So marami ka na ring na-post actually. Tas even thread, diba may mga artworks ka rin doon na, ano yung tawag doon? Parang shucks, ano yung word doon? Parang nire-recreate.
Yeah. Redraw.
Diba? Yun, redraw. Yes, nire-redraw mo siya just to see the difference of how you did it before and now. So, sa mga posts or sa mga artworks na na-post mo, ano yung makakonsider mo na most challenging so far at bakit?
I think technique-wise, the most challenging drawings that I have done were yung parang dinodrawing ko yung room or parang interior, yung parang drawings na may full background kasi backgrounds aren't my forte talaga. So yun, those specific drawings were the hardest for me, technique wise. However, pag challenging emotionally, mentally, I yung pumapasok sa isip ko is yung Dandampas na episode ko about the yung kasi may nangyari yun yung recent na hindi pala recent. Kailan ba yun? Last year I think yung police na binaril niya yung grandmother and yung grandson niya. So that was parang nag-create siya ng distrust for me towards the police. And so parang yung outlet ko for that was to create an episode of Dandampas, and that really took a toll on me emotionally actually. Yeah. So yun.
Isa rin yan sa nakama-cross ko before when you posted it. And sobra din yung emotions. Iba din na nalabas mong emotions.
Man, it's even hard even talking about it actually.
Exactly. So, ayun naman. So, apart from the challenging ones, ano yung makakonsider mo na fulfilling na artwork that you have done?
Yung fulfilling talaga for me is Dandampas as a whole kasi I feel like I feel like may impact siya. I feel like I created an impact somehow.
Kumusta naman ang naging journey mo during the lockdown? Like, I mean, we all had our phase when, especially the first parts of the lockdown. So, ano yung naging journey mo? Paano ka naka-cope up? And paano ka naka-get through? And sa kung ano yung nafe-feel mo right now sa overall well-being?
First of all, thankful talaga ako na I was privileged enough na hindi ako nawalan ng trabaho during the lockdown. I know maraming tao ang nawalan ng trabaho. Thankfully, I'm thankful na may kinakain pa ako during that time. And not to sound petty or anything, pero kasi parang wala kang karapatan magreklamo if I was alam mo yun, you're privileged enough, pero it was really heavy for me not being able to go outside. Parang it really took a toll on my mental health. I think that I had no choice but to stay indoors, and so art again was my outlet, and in fact I think parang doon ako naka-build up ng momentum to draw more episodes, to work on my comic. So, yun, art talaga was there for me. Is there for me, still is.
Parang salvation talaga. Like, it is nice if nakakahanap tayo ng ways to have, yun nga, yung outlet. So, good to know na sa side mo, it's art. So, let's proceed to the art side of things. So, ito na yon. So, ito na si Dandampas. So,
okay.
Naalala ko before the lockdown, pinalo na kita Naalala ko yon. Parang nag-start ka ng mag-produce ng Dandampas, and napaka-cute nila. Sobrang love ko yung art style. Dahil nga nung time na yun, ano rin talaga ako sa Steven Universe. So, parang nakakaano nga ako ng resemblance. Well, not necessarily the entire style. So parang may touch mo pa rin syempre si Dandampas. So yan, kwentuhan mo naman kami kung paano nagsimula ang Dandampas at kung ano yung naging inspiration mo sa paggawa nito.
Ever since talaga, goal ko nang gumawa ng comics. Ever since I was in high school, I think that's where the idea started na gumawa ako ng comics. But the procrastinator that I am, parang pinush back. And then siguro nag-click lang in my head na I have the power to create meaningful representation of the LGBTQ community through my art. And so, yun doon nag-start yung idea ng Dandampas. So, I wanted to create a story of a simple Filipino family na yun, the goal was not to highlight their being LGBT actually, but to parang ipakita na the LGBT couples are no different than heterosexual couples. So that's the core idea of Dandampas.
That is true na parang ano din talaga siya like representation, which is why I really love that. I really love Dandampas kasi wala pa, I mean, noong time na yun, wala pa akong nakikita masyadong comics na about, diba, na LGBT na family na tapos may cute pang pusang kasama. So, ano siya, breath of fresh air siya. So, and
thank you.
Yan. So, yeah, enjoyed yan. And yun, so, from the, habang kino-conceptualize mo siya, parang, paano ka nakahantong sa characters na, okay, gagawin mo siyang gagawin mong security guard, gagawin mo siyang bicycle driver, like parang was there like a list or paano ka namili and nag-come up with the characters as who they are now?
Honestly, yung naisip ko lang is I just wanted a simple family. And so, yun, parang naisip ko rin na parang yung goal ko nga is to add more representation of the LGBTQ community, no? So, the usual characters na pinapakita sa mga BL, they are, mga young professionals, mga students, ganun. So, I thought it would be nice to sprinkle in a security guard, a tricycle driver, and I guess parang it's a reminder na din na members of the LGBTQ community come in different shapes and sizes, na there is no one way of being LGBT. And yung pusa that came from my love of cats. Simply, yun lang.
So, wala namang necessarily na inspired by a pet cat or ano?
Wala. No. For my imagination lang talaga. Si Pascal.
How did you come up with the names?
Para wala talagang no thought talaga behind the names of Dante, Damian, and Pascal. Yung naisip ko lang is the title of the comics has to have an alliteration. So, Dante, Damian, Pascal, the Pusang, Kalye. It just sounds nice. Pero, a while back, sinerch ko yung pangalan nila. Kung ano yung parang meaning ng name nila. And so, Dante daw means stable or steady. And I think that's a reflection of how loyal Dante is to Damian and to his friends. And yung Damian naman, it means, ano ba yun? To subdue or parang, and I think that's a representation naman of how Damian is Dante's rock. So, timing lang, sumamba.
In terms of creating yung story, kasi napansin ko na ano siya, slice of life siya, diba? So,
yeah.
Yan nga, in terms of yung sa story, like parang meron ka bang particular direction kung saan mo siya gustong magtungo, or do you just go with the flow na parang, like you mentioned earlier na you created an episode that was dedicated to what happened in sa killings na yun. So, parang paano yung flow in terms of the story? Like, is it planned, or are there points where you can allocate for something that's relevant and slice of life? Ganyan.
I'm not much of a writer kasi, so I never planned on Dandampas of being a linear story. So parang episodic lang siya. Ganun, parang slice of life na type. So, parang yun, go with the flow lang. Dandampas is a love letter to the LGBT community. It is my outlet for my feelings. It is it is a reaction to the current events. So, yun. For now, go with the flow lang muna yung Dandampas. However, I do have plans uh, to create a more linear story. Siguro, a story about how Dante and Damian met, or about how they came to adopt Pascal someday. Siguro I just need to practice more on my writing. Ganun.
Mga magagandang bagay, hinihintay yan. So, hindi yan minamadali. So,
May
aabangan ko
hugot tayo.
yan. lang. Aabangan ko yan. Pero, again, no pressure. So, yeah, isa rin yun sa mga gusto kong malaman. Paano sila nagkakilala? Paano nila si Pascal?
Yeah.
So,
may concept na ako, may idea na ako, pero di ko alam kung paano sila i-put into words, paano sila ilalabas.
Nilalabas into visuals as well, diba? So,
yeah.
Gets naman. Sige. So, ano yung nararamdaman mo na maganda yung reception niya online eh? So, how does it feel na ganun yung naging turnout ni Dandampas so far?
Hindi ko siya in-expect talaga. Kasi I started with zero followers kasi I started a different account for Dandampas. Nakaka-overwhelm minsan na, may certain pressure na there is a certain responsibility to create good representation, or to create episodes that would be inspiring, or episodes that wouldn't hurt or harm the LGBTQ community further. Parang may innate na responsibility. So it's both nakaka-happy that people are inspired, and at the same time nakakatakot din, that feeling that there's a responsibility you're holding.
Pero wala ka namang nafe-feel na parang pressure na parang in terms of to the point na pressure ka na parang may ina-anticipate yung mga tao sa'yo in terms of the story. Wala namang ganun. Like parang
wala naman. It's mostly self-pressure na parang wala ka pang nagawang episode. And the followers, the fans are parang understanding naman sila sa when I'm busy, explain lang ako, and the people in the comments are like, it's okay, take your time.
Isa ako namang nagsasabi niya.
Yeah.
Totoo naman, diba? Parang hindi naman minamadali. So it's fine. Kaya nga, yun, hanggang ngayon, diba? Like, kung sino talaga yung fans na nag-follow sa'yo from the start. Kung fans talaga sila, parang susuportahan ka nila until the end. So, kaya ako parang, thank you. So, parang, very supportive naman. Like, it doesn't have to come out every often, diba? I mean, we're adults. Like, we get it. We're busy. We're doing a lot of things. Maliban sa passions na ginagawa natin. So, similar lang din dito sa stream, Siomai. So, guys.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, Levi, for this part of the show, I have gathered some of your works na pinost mo in the past. So, once I show the artwork, I would like to know the story and the process behind the creation. So, either drew it, and of course yung story, as in yung storytelling din. So kung ano yung willing mo i-share mo lang. So game ka na ba?
Yeah, game.
Alright, so let us start with this first set of artwork. So nabanggit na nga natin kanina sa kaninang chikahan natin na slice of life si Dandampas. And isa sa mga napansin ko talaga, kaya rin siya naging remarkable sa akin, is parang may pag-focus din niya in terms of stereotyping gay people na parang nakaka-relate siya. Let's be honest, diba? So parang ano yung naramdaman mo when creating these stories, particularly sa mga parang dahil bakla ang isang bakla, hindi na hindi na kayang gawin kung anong kayang gawin ng isang lalaki. 'Di ba? Ang daming ganong stories 'di ba?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So the story behind ito yung episode nung nagbuhat si Dante ng dalawang water jug. It's rooted on alam mo yung negative view on on gay people. If you're gay, you're weak. If you're gay, you're not strong. If you're gay, hindi ka tunay na lalaki. Ganun. And so, I guess, in this episode, parang na human as Dante is, na-trigger lang din siya na-hurt din siya. And so, pinush na yung limit niya, binuhat niya yung dalawang jug. And in fact, may additional paddle to sa Twitter, yung parang sumasakit na yung likod niya. Tinanong siya ni Damian kung worth it ba, and worth it ba na pinakita niya, pinamukha niya sa babae na na malakas siya. And he's like, so worth it. Kahit masakit yung likod ko. So it's like, it's another episode to say na the stereotypes of gay people should go away.
Ito pa, hindi ko makalimutan yung isang episode na pinost mo. Yung pino-point out na dahil yung umusbong yung mga BL series na parang, sa kakapanood ng mga bakla, magiging bakla ka din. Pero yung hirit nga nila doon na, mga pinapanood nga nila noon, mga hetero couples.
Oo. Diba? It totally makes sense. Kung movies pala yung nagpapabakla, but yeah, maraming movies nun sila Jericho Rosales and Christine Hermosa. Mga typical hetero movies.
Diba? Tapos isama mo pa yung mga thoughts of, yun yan na parang, nire-respeto nila yung mga bakla, pero hindi sila agree sa mga batas na yun yung makakatulong
exactly
sa community. So parang ba guys, bakit may pag-ganun?
Yeah. So yun nga yung inspiration behind yung isang episode na to, yung about Pride Month. Yeah. Kasi this was an actual experience. Not towards me, but a friend actually. Parang Pride na at the beginning of Pride Month, siya pa yung nauna kong nakitang nag-pop up na post sa Facebook na Happy Pride, gano'n. Although I don't agree with same-sex marriage. Ang gano'n. Like, so frustrating. Though I understand where they're coming from, I guess kulang lang ng explanation about Soji. It's just frustrating.
I guess atin na parang natatawanan na lang natin siya. Pero
yeah.
Parang, syempre, at the end of the day, parang may isip din natin na, nangyayari talaga siya hanggang ngayon na.
Yes, until now.
2022 na, pero nangyayari pa rin siya. So, yun. So, let's proceed. Ito yung susunod naman. So, maliban nga din sa part pa rin siya ng slice of life. Pero, isa rin sa mga napansin ko na, yun nga, it also promotes body positivity. So, napaka-sweet ng gesture na yun na parang, ano yung naging inspiration mo towards dito sa episode na to?
This is a reflection actually of my own insecurity. This is me telling myself na it's okay, na you're beautiful. So, I imagine na Dante is a very outgoing, very friendly, pero he has insecurities din, and luckily he has Damian there, who is Damian is there to remind him every day that he's beautiful, he's perfect, he's hot.
Let's proceed to the next one naman. Nasa lockdown tayo, nasa pandemic, and isa rin to sa mga pinost mo, frontliners na talaga ang lumalabas sa bahay. And it's really nice kasi yun, parang it's a dedication to frontliner. So, ano yung naging mo dito? Like, paano to na nangyari?
Kasi my kuya is a nurse, And also, I have lots of friends who are nurses, and I am a witness to their struggles. Kahit even before the pandemic, alam mo yun yung they are not masyadong mababa yung sahod nila, tapos yung workload nila is super super heavy, malaki yung accountability, and parang tinitreat sila as dispensable, parang okay lang. So this is a love letter to the frontliners na saying na I personally can see your struggle. I understand your battles.
And thank you for putting our current events, relevant things that's happening to us na kay Dandampas. Kaya it's really becoming more relatable. So thank you so much for creating these. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. So eto, oh my gosh, tawa ko dito. Pero kasi totoo to na parang this news site released a news article, tapos kasama na sa headline yung word na despite.
Yeah, di ko masyado maalala ko about yung article, but again, this is to say na being gay or being queer is not a disadvantage. It's not something that you have to get over. It's just you being you. Parang in our time, during 2022 na, pero alam mo yun, through the word choice, although di nila explicitly sinasabi, parang the view of gay people is parang, may kapansanan or disadvantage. So, this is a comment siguro to remind the people na choose your words wisely, and, na if they didn't mean to demean the LGBTQ community, then next time, be careful of what you're saying, kasi eto, struggling na nga yung community, tapos may mga ganito pa na mga articles na lumalabas. So be more responsible with your words, especially coming from a major news outlet.
Agree. So hopefully may natutunan silang lesson doon. So another diba? So sila pa yung right. I'm sure naman alam naman ng sana alam naman na nila. Anyway, another thing to comment on is this one about bilang na si baka masabi ko na naman yung maling pangalan.
Daniel.
Oo. Kasalanan po ng Katniel series. Anyways, so I'm sure nagpapakita ka din ng episodes about Dante being part yun sa trabaho niya, and syempre sa tungkol nga to sa sexual harassment, and syempre isa rin to sa mga bagay na parang dapat nga kinokondone, diba? So parang yun yung naging take nung office mates at ni Dante doon. So ano yung naging inspiration dito? Like, but I know like it happens and we see this sa mga stories sa social media. So yun, parang how do you come across this one?
Siguro this is just to veer away from the idea na yung parang sinesexualize yung if you're gay, you're hypersexual, ganun. And of course, it's to parang i-emphasize that sexual harassment is no joking matter, that sexual harassment is serious. It's not something to joke about. And it's not something to make light of.
There's this one episode din na pinost mo, hindi ko makalimutan yun, na basically it's to teach kids not to rape.
Yeah.
Diba
yung ano ba yun? Yung si Dante ba yun with the clothing?
Yes, yun, yung sa damit. Oo, nawala sa
kasi
pananaw.
It's a usual theme kasi, di ba, na rape ka or binastos ka kasi yung suot mo masyadong revealing, na pinapakita mo yung shoulders mo, masyadong maiksi yung shorts mo. When bakit nilalagay yung responsibility sa kababaihan? Bakit nilalagay yung responsibility dun sa na-rape, hindi dun sa rapist? And hindi lang sa kababaihan, of course, there are men who get raped. It has to acknowledge na men get raped too. But more often than not, it's the women who are disadvantaged here.
Dandampas is, yun nga, parang, thanks to them, nagkaroon ng parang representation nga, ika nga. So, which is why we're talking about them now. And isa sa mga characters na na-encounter ko before while reading the comic is Mike. And, syempre, alam mo naman, makatitig naman silang dalawa sa kanya. Pero what amazes then is, yun nga, nung naghubad siya ng shirt. And, meron, yun nga, napansin ko nga, yung scar nga sa kanya. So, paano mo na-conceptualize si Mike?
I just wanted a character na parang crush nila Dante and Damian. I feel like they would have a relationship na parang ganun na they would admire the same person. They wouldn't be afraid to share kung sino yung crush nila. And so, yun, naisip ko yung character ni Mike. And as yung goal ko nga is to create representation, then I thought, why not make Mike trans? And yun lang, honestly, wala siyang masyadong thought. And later, actually, parang napaisip ako if that was the right thing to do. Kasi personally, I'm not trans, so I'm not sure if this is good representation. So, yun, parang medyo nagka-fear ako na baka magka-backlash or baka may nasaktan ako na trans people with my representation with Mike. Pero so far parang wala naman akong nakitang negative reaction. And honestly, I think if may nasaktan man ako, I would like to apologize, but Mike is well-intended. Mike is a good guy. Mike is, Mike is helpful. Mike is, he's a good friend.
So, yes. Kita naman ramdam naman na malinis yung intention mo in creating Mike. Paano mo masasabi na ang isang episode or isang artwork ay considered finished at ready na siya to post?
Before drawing, I have a vision in my head kung ano yung gusto kong i-create. Usually, pag parang satisfied na ako with my vision, like if I think na fulfill ko na yung vision ko, then that's the cue for me to say, okay, this is done, this is good. So there are times na yung parang hindi nagma-match yung iniisip ko sa skill ko. Like, I think yung mga naisip ko minsan are too difficult for me to draw. So it's a real struggle sometimes na parang those are the moments na nagtatagal matagal talaga matapos sa drawings kasi usually I finish a piece within an hour or 1 hour to 3 hours, and that is on a good day. Pero on moments na parang hindi nagmamatch or nagtutugma yung vision ko, it usually takes me 6 hours.
As an artist, like we all go through a creative block. Or for visual artists, meron mga art blocks. So wherein you just suddenly feel like you don't know what to write, what to draw, what to conceptualize. Ano yung mga ginagawa mo when you experience?
So you mentioned kanina yung mga redraws ko sa Instagram. That's one way of getting over an art block. For me, yun lang yung ginagawa ko when I have an art block. I redraw my old stuff. Kinukuha ko yung mga lumang drawing books ko. Tinitingnan ko yung mga drawings ko doon. Try ko i-redraw. Ganun. And also, one more thing I do when I have an art block, yung app na ginagamit ko for drawing, it has a feature na parang symmetry feature. So when you draw something here, it reflects on the other side. So parang may symmetry. Yun, kasi symmetry tool. So yun, parang I exercise, I do character designs, kahit ano lang, free-flowing lang. And then it usually works after a few character designs. Parang kaya ko na mag-draw ulit.
Nabanggit mo rin earlier, 'di ba, na may mga certain people and animations kang parang you look up to, and
Yeah.
eventually parang in-incorporate mo siya sa art style mo. So, paano mo madi-distinguish yung art style mo from the rest? And how do you make sure na hindi siya totally kinopya na parang straight? Kasi 'di ba may ganun na parang mapapansin ka mga artist. Like, kahit sinong artist naman, they draw inspiration from other artists din. Pero napapansin mo, parang eventually mahahanap din nila yung parang style na parang considered na unique and signature nila. So, paano ka nakahantong sa ganong place?
I think I'm still on my way to finding my unique art style talaga, kasi parang may mga comments pa akong nakikita na my art style is too similar to Steven Universe, ganun. In fact, yung character design ni Dante is very hawig kay Steven, which was late ko na notice, like, nga, hawig talaga ni Steven. And kaya binigyan ko siya, dati kasi 'di ba full kulot si Dante, and binigyan ko siya ng haircut. That's the reason why binigyan ko siya ng haircut, kasi to steer away from the connection between Steven and Dante. I guess it's just parang I'm being patient with myself. Nakita ko naman na malaki na yung in-improve ko. Siguro I'll get there someday. And siguro yung makikita kong difference from my art style is I use thick lines na fuzzy, na parang fuzzy sila. I think that's my signature. And also yung yung sparkle na design. Lagi kong dinalagyan yung drawings ko ng sparkles. So I guess those are my two signatures.
Yun, thank you so much for reacting on the post, on the previous artwork na nagawa mo. Let's go to the part where we dwell on Pride Month. So, as a queer artist, a queer individual, so, may ano yung pwede mong ma-share in terms of your experience, especially with coming out? So, parang, ano yung naging journey mo towards that? So, could you kind of share with us? Yung ano lang, yung comfortable moments lang that you want to share.
As a child, parang as far as I could remember, lagi akong nabubuli, natitiis, being gay, bakla, you know. And so there was a parang fear of discovering that actually baka bakla nga ako, ganun. So it took me a while to really accept that I'm not straight. And so as far as coming out, I never really came out. Parang naging unapologetic na lang ako with who I am. Just be who I am, and I feel like there's no need for me to say na ganito ako or ganyan ako. And kasi honestly, I'm still looking for the right words to describe my sexual orientation or gender identity. Basta yun lang. For now, the way I would describe my sexual orientation is I'm not straight. That's definitely I'm not straight. But as far as the specifics, di ko alam. Di ko pa alam. And so, yun nga, just be unapologetically you. Yun lang. That's just my experience. And I'm lucky enough to have parents who are understanding, who are loving, despite of who I am.
I totally admire for that. So, ano naman ito ba? Like, di naman siya parang may deadline na, kailangan.
Oh, yeah.
Then, alam mo na kung ano yung toji mo, alam mo na kung
yeah.
Pero, ito yung mga instances where you can say that labels really don't matter.
Exactly,
diba?
yeah.
Kasi parang, at the end of the day, ikaw lang talaga makaka-identify.
Exactly,
Even
yeah.
if hindi mo siya ma-translate into words, it's the feeling that counts eh. So, hindi
Exactly.
maiintindihan ng ibang tao yun. So, and hindi tayo obligado to
Mm-mm.
explain and hindi rin
Yes.
tayo obligado to come out. Diba?
Yes, exactly. Exactly my thoughts. Yeah.
Ano dun. So, yeah, I do hope other people realize that then, diba? So, ano yung mga struggles na, nabanggit mo rin kanina eh, like nabully ka rin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nagets ko yun eh. Parang, is there a particular situation na hindi mo makalimutan? Like, let's say, may parang particular scene ba na parang tumatakbo minsan sa isip mo na parang, well, it doesn't have to be malala. Pero, something that laging nakabangko sa utak mo. Then minsan naaalala mo siya na naging part siya ng journey.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in particular. Parang yung naalala ko lang is, yun nga, I was always being called gay. Yung parang, yung naririnig mo sa boses nila na they mean to insult you, they mean to, parang, to hurt you, ganun. And so I also had an experience na I would never forget. I wouldn't say it was bullying. However, parang nasaktan ako. I mean, not to say nasaktan. Parang it left a bad taste in my mouth. I had a job interview back then when I was a fresh graduate. Towards the end of my interview, one of the panelists asked, "Are you gay?" And I told them, "Does it matter, sir?" And sabi nila, "Yes, it matters so that we know how to treat you." Like, what? Why would you treat me differently if I was gay or if I was straight? Why? It wasn't really bullying, but it really stuck with me. Na parang may mga tao pa na ganun yung view na they would treat you differently if you're gay, if you're queer.
In terms of treatment, kasi yun, curious ako dahil nga dito sa Mega Manila, parang yun nga, somehow nagkakaroon na ng it's more of tolerance rather than acceptance eh. Very curious ako dyan sa Tacloban, like, paano ang pakikitungo? Like, yun nga, sa isa sa mga naging job interviews mo na parang, that's so very barbaric, if I could say, diba? Na parang, parang, oh my God, ang 20, kung anong year man yun. Pero,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was very recent, yeah.
Diba?
I would say it's the same here in Tacloban. Parang there's a general tolerance of the gay community. Not full acceptance, I would say. Kasi if you accept someone, parang you would support them with the fact that same-sex marriage is still not legal in the Philippines, anywhere in the Philippines. It says a lot about the viewpoint of the people towards the members of the LGBTQ community. So it's the same here. Tolerance.
Diyan sa Tacloban, like ano yung mga bagay siguro na sana nagagawa din dyan every Pride Month or even kahit hindi Pride Month, pero something that hopefully makinabang din ang ang mga taong kagaya natin na sa LGBT.
Well, yun nga, Pride Parade would be nice. Never pa ako naka-experience ng Pride Parade. Hanggang Twitter lang ako, hanggang Facebook lang ako. Though there have been times na may Pride March dito, but they were organized by the University of the Philippines. So parang I was hesitant to join in, ganun. And back then, my view of Pride was very limited, so I didn't understand that Pride was also a protest. I didn't understand na activism pala yung Pride. So I was hesitant because I saw them carrying placards, ganun. Yeah. And so, yun, at least may ganun sa amin, no? Although it would be fun to have a bigger pride celebration like the ones in Manila. And also, siguro, hindi ko maalala which city, but may LGUs kayo na may ordinances against discrimination sa LGBT community. I guess it would be nice to adopt that here in the city kasi in Tacloban. Kasi as far as I know, parang wala kaming ganun.
Pride Month is a celebration and a protest. So here's my question. As the author of Dandampas, ano yung hopefully isang bagay na society or even a general reader would learn or reflect on after nila basahin kahit isang episode lang ng Dandampas?
Siguro, I would love for people to take away from my comics is na to understand that queer people, gay people, Dante and Damian and Pascal, they are like you. They are like heterosexual couples. There's no difference. Well, aside from the difference in genders, of course. But siguro I just want to foster parang an environment na acceptance. Yun nga, yung sinasabi natin kanina na kasi we are only tolerated. So the goal is for us to be accepted. And I hope na Dandampas would contribute to achieving that.
I can feel naman na parang nagkakaroon siya ng contribution. So again, thank you so much for producing Dandampas. So the next thing naman is, yun yan, nabanggit na rin natin to kanina. It's about tolerance. Mas tinotolerate ang LGBTQ plus community rather than acceptance. And magkaiba yun. So ano yung pwede mong iwan at message sa mga tao na yun nga, hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano yung pinaglalaban nating LGBTQ plus community. Lalo na sa Tacloban wherein parang same pa rin, diba? Ng stereotype, diba? So, ano yung pwede nating iwan sa kanilang message?
I think what they have to understand talaga, they have to understand the concept of, first and foremost, their foundation should be to understand what sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression means. Kasi I think their ignorance, their hate is rooted on their ignorance of the community. They don't understand. They don't know what we are. They don't know who we are. And so, yun, they should be responsible enough to learn about Soji. Yun. And the next thing is acceptance lang naman yung hinihingi. Parang to be treated equally, to be given equal rights, to be given the rights that the same rights that you have. So if you're allowed to marry the person you love, then why can't we? Why can't I? So that's plain and simple. We just want the same rights, equal treatment, and we want you to understand the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity and gender expression.
So ano yung mas may iwan nating message sa mga queer individuals who are still struggling in figuring their identity, their soji. So, and yun nga, with the type of acceptance that we have. So, nakakadagdag talaga siya sa struggle. So, ano yung pwede nating i-impart sa kanila?
Surround yourself with friends who love you and who accept you. And again, as corny as it may seem, just be who you are, be unapologetically you, cut off the toxic people in your life, and you will be much, much happier, much, much more content with your life.
Doon naman tayo sa future naman ng ating pag-uusapan. So, anong mga future plans ni Dandampas?
As I mentioned nga kanina, I want to write a backstory for Dante, Damian, and Pascal. So, maybe siguro someday soon you will know how they met. You will know their backstory. You will know how they came across Pascal. And for now, that's all. I will continue pa naman to write to create the episodic na mga na Dandampas. So please tune in.
Of course, isa rin ako sa mga mag-aabang yan. Eto, ano lang din to, medyo fun question lang din to. Wala
Okay.
sa script, pero naalala ko lang kasi isa rin to sa tinanong ko kay Champi. So, kung kung anumang multiverse ang meron tayo at nagkaroon ng chance na gawan ng live adaptation ng Dandampas, sino ang naiisip mong, dalian na lang natin, local artist na sa tingin mo bagay kay Dante at Damian? Alam nga naman kay Pascal, maghanap ng
Pascal CGI. Si Pascal CGI.
Mahal po ang budget niyan. Ako, unless gagawa ng puppet, parang ginagawa ni JF. Anyway, yun.
Naka-costume lang yan.
Mascot.
Wala pa akong naisip. Though one time, I had a fun conversation on Twitter with some of my followers na Joe M. Bascon would look good as Dante. You agree? Pero yung for Damian, sige, if Joe M. Bascon is Dante, Damian would be sino? Wala akong maisip. I'm drawing a blank.
Ano pa yung other siguro creative goals mo na you wish to pursue as an artist? Like, other than Dandampas, like, parang, do you have other goals or other targets or other things na gusto mong gawin as an artist?
So right now, I'm working as a not in a creative field, nasa corporate, I guess I would say, not to name the specifics, no. And sa office, I am the one who makes our mga tarpaulin, mga graphics na pinupost sa Facebook. So I guess somehow I get to stretch my creative abilities here in the office. Pero I feel like it's not enough. Parang nagkakaroon ako ng hunger for something more to work talaga in a creative field. So for now na I do na medyo stable yung job ko and I need the money right now. Siguro the priority is to survive lang muna. And eventually, I know I will get there. I want to work in the creative field.
You will naman, oo. In time naman. So, looking forward to that. So, ano yung message naman sa mga aspiring artists and even to people na yun nga, hindi linya ang creative in pagiging artist pero they would like to give it a try. So, I think you're the best person to ask this question. So, what's your message to them?
Sa mga aspiring artists, just keep drawing every day. Just draw every day. Practice every day. And you will get better eventually. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen. And to the people naman who are in the same boat as me, na hindi nasa creative field but who wants to pursue a job in the creative field, do what you can. I think do what you can to survive for now. Do what you can to live, and once you're comfortable enough, let's go for our dreams. Siguro let's not pressure ourselves too much na muna. If we need the money, if we need to survive on a daily basis, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in not pursuing your dreams because of fear of loss in finances. So, sama-sama tayo.
Oo, iba-iba ang priorities ng tao and that is something to respect, diba? So, ano naman like, if it will come naman in time, especially kung gustong-gusto mo siyang gawin.
Yes, true.
Hindi natin kailangan pressure ng ibang tao na dahil sila nagagawa ng successfully. Pero, yun. So, just keep doing, just keep going kung saang phase man ng life ka ngayon, diba? So, Yun, where can they find you? Anong mga socials na pwedeng i-follow kay Dandampas or kay Levi?
Follow the story of Dante, Damian, and Pascal on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Dandampas, Dandampas, Dandampas. And you can see my other artworks sa personal art accounts ko on Twitter and Instagram at Guhitsaglit, Guhitsaglit. Also, you can read all the episodes of Dandampas on Penlab. Just search Dandampas or just search Dante, Damian, and Pascal, the Pusang Kalye.
Ayun, Levi, maraming salamat sa pakikipagtsikahan sa akin dito sa KaTalk. Thank you so much. I really
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Sobrang appreciate ko yung stories mo and even showing your face dito sa ating show. I mean, you mentioned earlier, before tayo nag-start, na podcast yung
Yeah, yung first.
guesting mo. So, I'm not sure kung nakita ba yung face mo doon. So, if ever na hindi, I think this is the first. So, meron tayong series of firsts dito. So, maraming salamat for that. I really appreciate the effort. I am personally glad to finally see the face behind Dandampas, and that alone means a lot. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Yun, so, you're truly admirable sa ginagawa mo, and I genuinely wish you happiness and success, hindi lang sa multiple careers, because yung multiple careers of your life, as well as sa ibang aspects ng buhay mo. So, thank you so much, Levi, and I do hope to meet you in person soon. So, ingat ka
Yes,
dyan
please.
sa Tacloban. So,
Yes,
let
thank you.
me know if nandito ka na sa Mega Manila, if you happen to fly around here. So, magagawa naman.
Yeah, we'll do.
So, maraming salamat.
Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
And that is all for tonight's episode ng KaTalk. I hope nag-enjoy at meron kayong napulot na kung ano man sa episode natin sa ating second and probably the final Pride Month episode special for the year. This episode is available for replay sa Facebook page ng Stream Siomai, pati na rin sa YouTube. So, kung nasa YouTube man kayo, don't forget, oh my gosh, the typical invite. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also don't forget to like din and follow sa aking Facebook page. The other announcements are also on Instagram, so check out the videos in both of the pages to see the past episodes as well. Ako po si Alvin ng Stream Siomai, and thank you so much for watching the Pride Month specials of KaTalk. I do hope to see you soon, but till then, I wish you all well and a happy Pride Month. Take care, guys. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, kung anong oras naman to pinapakinggan, pinapanood. I wish you all well. Thank you so much.